All right, YouTube, this is a quick video. I don't want to be on screen, so this is why. Some blankets and a pillow. But anyways, I think that it's the most like purpose in your life. Like, you have a purpose in life, but it's even more meaningful is what I'm trying to say when you had near deaths, events in your life or experiences in your life. And like a few where you not even supposed to be here, that was God protecting you, his guardian, your guardian angel. I believe everybody has a guardian angel. And you just be like, wow, when you think about life, that you could almost die not just once or twice, but like a few times. Like for me, man, a few times, more than 2 times. But anyways, I feel like you can never say thank you enough to God and Jesus. There's nothing in this world that you can ever do that's enough of how appreciative you are of that. Like, it gives life so much more meaning to the already, life is very meaningful. Everybody have a purpose, and life is hard, and like you have to fight back, because as much as life try to hurt you and hinder you and try to take you out, you have to fight with life. You got to fight for your life just as much, when, I feel like you just got to be on it in life, because you can easily die from anything. It can be an accident. It can be, somebody else taking you out, it's a wake up call, and it's just such a blessing to know, and I know everybody has a time and place to go, and I wish everyone died of like a natural thing, or we lived into the rapture happen, nobody died until the rapture happens. Or like if people died, it was like a natural cause, like other people don't kill them or take them out, or like something in the world taking them out, like a car accident or something like that. Like a natural thing is like people who die in their sleep, and they say it's a natural cause of death. But anyways, I just be stopped and reading my schoolwork, like thinking about numerous times I could have died, and making sure I change things so that don't happen again. Whether it's a person that could have took me out, like you got to watch who you have company with, or like, accidental, whether it's a car, a car thing, driving, I'm trying to say driving, or like electrical shock, you got to unplug stuff just to be cautious. Like I feel like you can sanitize stuff, like disinfectants, and you may be a person who don't unplug stuff, which you should, just to be extra cautious. And it's just times where, it can be like a freak accident, or it can be like a person just didn't know something, and it's been things that I had never learned, and you have to teach yourself certain things, where most people learned that stuff, as a kid, like chemical wise, or like for example, like standing under a tree with a cell phone. You're not supposed to do that, when it's lightning outside, and a lot of people be like, oh, you don't know that? Like, did anybody teach you that? No. And then it's good to learn these things, because you can literally die instantly from so many things. You can fall down the stairs, hit your head a certain way, and die. My mom taught us about a lot of things and like stuff like that, and stuff. But there was certain things that specifically I didn't learn, or like maybe I didn't listen, but there was a lot of things I don't recall learning, versus not listening. I believe that I honestly didn't learn a lot of things that you kind of learn on your own, and you be like, oh my goodness, I'm glad I learned this, because like, have done that. Like I could have like lost my life, or like it's just deeper when you just sit back and think about some things sometimes. Like it's just really powerful. Like it hits my heart, you know, and God keeps you here because he could have took you during these times where your life could have been taken from whatever cause of death. And it makes me a person who a little bit, not even a little bit, abundantly like on it, and like more aware and more thoughtful, more safety wise. And this can be like simply unplugging stuff before you wipe stuff down, like on the outside, you know. I'm talking about like the example with the disinfectant, or standing in the tree with a freaking cell phone. You don't do that. It's just stuff like that you just be like, you just more alert in life, you more wiser. I'm 29 years old, and I feel like it's a lot of things I didn't learn. I even had to learn how to drive on my own. Like I had to go to a adult safety class, but I found out once I started driving that I only learned the basics. Like it wasn't like, it was a lot of stuff I didn't know. And of course I could have went back and paid and be like, I didn't know this, and I need to understand that, Like, it was like a simple thing, like, it's understandable once you experience it, but you still would have been taught that. But one of the example is like, how long do you have? Because of course you you get prepared to stop at a yellow light, but you can have time to pass it because obviously it's not a red light. But you have to, like, I would do like videos on YouTube. YouTube is very helpful. I always tell children and kids and adults, you can literally learn anything: sewing, dancing, changing a tire, which that probably is going to be hard to do even just watching a video. But what I'm trying to say is, like, anything you need to learn how to do, you can learn on YouTube. So back in the day, we didn't have all that. Of course, I was young, so I was taken care of. But anyway, I just wanted to share that because that was heavy on my heart. I just be like, like, and it's not that a person isn't wise. It's just a lot of people don't get taught things, like, they just don't get taught certain things, and they become an adult. And, like, some people have lost their lives, and it wasn't really a freak accident. It was like, like a person who got electrocuted, like, like I even had a time where I was messing with the, I forgot what it's called, but you have to have all this switch off before, and gladly it was off. And I was multitasking on the phone or whatever, but you just have to be very cautious and just know, like, a lot of things can be like dangerous, and it has signs on everything, whether it's in an apartment or anything. You just have to be like very cautious, and like, you can just die from anything is what I'm trying to say. I was trying to think of that, where all the like, if your light's not working, you would go to the, if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, and like, yeah, it's just a lot of things that I feel like growing up I did not know, and then becoming an adult and like learning, like, oh, you can, you got to do this, you got to do that, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, and a lot of them are safety things, like, like, where like you can be electrocuted, you can go on YouTube and see people fixing something, they didn't turn the light off, for example, and got electrocuted, or etc., or like I said, it's a lot of stuff. Like, I just be very grateful and thankful, and I just be on it as an adult and having knowledge about things I should have learned. And just being grateful that I know that I know it now, even though I feel like, wow, like, I did not know these things, and I'm just glad I'm still here, even though life get hard and you don't want to be here no more. I even asked God to take me in my sleep numerous times, and there's a purpose for, and I would never do that again. But this year has been the worst year ever. The last 2 years was bad, but nothing like this year. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, it's just you be more grateful in life. I'm telling you right now, like, a lot of people say I don't know my purpose in life, and like I already knew my purpose before thinking about, how many times I have almost lost my life. That makes it even more powerful of having a purpose here, because you could have been gone. Everybody has a time to enter this world and be meant to be born and to be taken out, for God to get you back, if that's where you go, if that's your choice, because you have a choice where you want to go, hell or heaven, when you die. And I feel like it's kind of sad too, because think about it, the people who didn't know that they were going to die, they won't have a second chance like the rapture. When people die, you either go to heaven or hell. So it's a really deeper thing where I just been thinking a lot this year. I've become very wise, like, over these few years of not knowing certain things, like, and I've been living on my own for about 5 years now, and I will tell you, I've learned a lot. It can be like chemicals, electricity, so much stuff. Driving, I was on a bus for 9 years, and man, all I can do is say I know God know my heart, and when I see Him, I would always tell Him, even in heaven, there can never be anything I could ever do to show you how much I appreciate it, and you've been there to protect me, and just gave me more time when I was supposed to die numerous times. I think it's such a beautiful thing. I'm glad I'm not on camera because I'll start crying, but it's just when you know that you have supposed to be taken out of this world, I think it's just the most beautifulest thing ever for God and Jesus to be like, no, it's not her time yet, And I just feel so bad for the people who had to leave this world being taken out by other people. Like, for example, John Burnett, Kanika Jenkins, so many people who have been murdered, killed, raped, there's so many names, so many different deaths, died by fire, died by a car accident. It's just, when you think about it, it's so sad. Cancer. But I'm gonna finish reading this chapter. I just think that people need to take a moment and think about that. Like, your life was spared so many times, and that was God and Jesus Christ. Even if you don't believe, that was Him. Even the ones that don't believe, He still loves you. And I just pray that people give Him a chance and believe in God and Jesus, and just know that it's more to their life, their purpose in this life. It's a purpose for you, and it just is. It's so hard to even elaborate, and I have to use the bathroom with my overactive bladder, so I'm not going to continue to hold it. God bless.